Back in college, I wasn't the most social guy. No frat, no girlfriend, no big group of friends. Just me and my two best friends, Ethan and Jordan. We weren't completely antisocial though. We'd go to any party we could get into, desperate for a night that felt like a scene from a college movie. One night, Jordan's classmate told him about a party happening in an old Victorian house just off campus. It wasn't a frat party, but apparently, it was invite only. Jordan's friend had an extra invite. The three of us were in. On the way there, Ethan was scrolling through his phone when he went pale. "Weird," he muttered. "I was talking to that girl, Emily. She invited me, but now her profile is just gone." Jordan laughed. "Blocked already? Damn, bro." Ethan shrugged it off, but I could tell it bugged him. We pulled up to the house and immediately something felt off. The place was huge, but there were no loud voices, no bass-heavy music thumping through the walls. Instead, there was a slow, almost hypnotic melody coming from inside. A strange, pulsing hum. We knocked. The door swung open on its own. Inside, everyone was elegant. Too elegant. Like they were dressed for a black tie event, not a college party. The lighting was too bright, the air smelled vaguely of metal, and when we walked in, heads turned. Not in a good way. Jordan whispered, "Yo, this feel weird to you guys?" Ethan had already grabbed a drink. "Nah man, we're just not used to fancy parties. Relax." I wasn't convinced. Something about the people here wasn't right. Their faces were too smooth, their smiles too perfect. And then I noticed the marks. A thin green line on a girl's neck. Another on a guy's wrist. Identical, precise, unnatural. I nudged Ethan. "Look at that." He blinked, suddenly sluggish. "What?" I looked around. Jordan was already being led upstairs by a girl with one of those marks. The same girl who had been staring at us since we walked in. Panic clawed at my gut. "We need to go." Ethan laughed, but it was hollow. "Dude, you're overthinking. Have a drink?" Then he froze. His eyes locked onto something behind me. I turned. A man stood there, taller than anyone in the room, dressed in crisp white linen. His skin was flawless, too flawless. The mark on his neck glowed faintly. "Who invited you?" he asked, voice smooth, empty. I swallowed. "Emily?" The man tilted his head. "Do you see Emily here?" I scanned the crowd. No Emily. No familiar faces. Only strangers with those same green marks, all watching. Ethan swayed beside me, his drink slipping from his hand. His pupils were too wide. I don't feel so." He collapsed. I grabbed his arm. "Ethan?" Jordan was gone. Upstairs. A hand clamped onto my shoulder. The man's grip was like steel. "You don't belong here." I yanked away, adrenaline surging, and ran. My only thought, get to Jordan. I stumbled up the stairs, each step feeling heavier. At the end of the hall, a door was cracked open. I pushed inside. Jordan was on the floor. His eyes stared blankly at the ceiling, mouth open in a silent scream. His skin was too pale, veins dark, almost black. Something moved in the corner. Emily, or what was left of her. Her body was changing, stretching, bones snapping under too thin skin. Her mouth opened too wide, her jaw distending, eyes void of anything human. I choked on a scream as the thing that had been Emily turned to me, her neck lined with glowing green symbols. The man's voice echoed behind me. "You shouldn't have come." Pain lanced through my skull. My vision blurred. The last thing I saw was Jordan's lifeless body and Emily's twisted, inhuman face moving toward me. Then nothing. When I woke up, I was outside, alone. The house was gone. Just an empty lot where it had been. No sign of Ethan. No sign of Jordan. No one believed me. They said I was drunk, hallucinating. The house never existed. The party never happened. But sometimes at night, I hear that same humming sound in my dreams. And I know they're still watching me.